What's up, family? It's your girl, Jay Smiles, and I am on location in Dash Garage. Nobody is fixing cars over here or doing oil changes. It's a wonderful theater in Atlanta, but tonight we were doing something really special. Actually, there was a whole program with really fancy scientists, gerontologists, and other things that I can't pronounce, giving us research techniques on how come improv, that's right, a comedic tool can actually help caregivers and carees through the whole world of dementia. A NIH grant, a Georgia State University grant. Y'all, I was here with fancy people doing fancy stuff. It was so exciting. So I want you to stick with me, watch as we go along, chat with some folks, give you some BTS, behind the scenes footage. All right, you ready? It's some good stuff, and you're getting it for free. Parenting Up, Caregiving Adventures with comedian Jay Smiles is the intense journey of unexpectedly being fully responsible for my mama. For over a decade, I've been chipping away at the unknown, advocating for her, and pushing Alzheimer's awareness on anyone and anything with a heartbeat. Spoiler alert, this shit is heavy. That's why I started doing comedy, so be ready for the jokes. Caregiver newbies, OGs, and village members just willing to prop up a caregiver, you are in the right place.
Hi, this is Zeddy. I hope you enjoy my daughter's podcast. Is that okay?
Today's supporter shout out is from YouTube. Shantae Carter Lacey 144. Quote, thank you for guiding us on this journey of parenting up. Emoji red heart. You are so welcome. I don't know if I'm guiding y'all or if y'all are guiding me, but we are in this together, and together we can make it out, because caregiving sucks, but we love our folks, and we gonna stay in it. If you want to be the recipient of the caregiver supporter shout out, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, IG, or YouTube.
Thank you to the organizing committee, Dr. Antonia Skipper, Dr. Wendy Simons, and to Celeste Green for the program and publicity cover design, and especially to the staff from Dad's Garage, especially Nate Rosie. Thank you so much for welcoming us and doing this with us. Many thanks also to our students, alumni, community partners, and friends of gerontology. You're here tonight, so you're a friend of gerontology. A special thanks goes out this year to Improving Through Improv, led by Amanda Lee Williams, in collaboration with Dad's Garage. I think this project and the program you will see tonight is a shining example of what we can do if we work closely with our community partners to engage, be creative, and use joy and laughter to move forward towards high quality of life for older adults and their care partners. You are our gerontology family, and we appreciate all of you, and thank you all for being here and what you do for the Institute and for older adults and their care partners across Georgia and beyond. The Gerontology Institute is small but mighty. The best thing about the Gerontology Institute is our family life and collegial culture. As you have noticed, we're doing something a little different this year and bringing the pain lecture to you from Dad's Garage. We're also featuring one of our own core faculty, Dr. Candace Camp. And I'm very sure Ted is going to do a great job of showering her with accolades in just a minute. I just need to say a few words about Dr. Kemp. Candace has been a friend and colleague of mine since 2003, when I met her while 8 months pregnant with my now 21-year-old daughter. Over the last 2 decades, I've had the privilege of working by her side and witnessing her many, many talents. Candace Kemp's work is a shining example of rigorous academic research that engages important issues facing older adults and their care partners. It is clear that she cares deeply about older adults and is moved to figure out ways to support them in ways that optimize quality of life.
Chicken in the car and the car won't go. Even with improv training for dementia communication, I have no idea where to go with that. So my lovely wife Susan and I were up north visiting a relative in memory care, having lunch, and I was fishing for some connection around a chance encounter story, a humorous tale that we had been sharing for about 35 years. Instead, I got chicken in the car and the car won't go. I'll come back to that. I'm Ted Johnson, co-director of Georgia Gear. Maybe you got a temporary tattoo when you were downstairs. Georgia Gear is a federally funded program at Emory University that supports innovations in senior care, like this awesome example. Tonight, here at Dad's Garage, you'll hear from Dr. Candace Kemp, who will be delivering the Barbara Payne Lectureship along with her, and our awesome partner, Amanda Lee Williams, a Dad's Garage actor that's leading a program called Improving Care through Improv. Chicken in the car and the car won't go. That's how you spell Chicago. And then it clicked. The person that I was talking to remembered, or maybe didn't, that we had met in Chicago, nearby where I was on campus at medical school. And I said, we were in Chicago when we ran into each other on campus, right? I suggested, exactly, he replied. And then the conversation just sort of floated away. So, fishing for a 35-year-old memory, I caught a 70-year-old memory about phonics and how you spell the city Chicago. Chicken in the car won't go. It connected in some cosmic way, this story, and that's the power of improv, finding enjoyment in meaning where you weren't sure that there was any. So, tonight, you are in for a treat. Welcome to the Barbara Payne Lecture.
First, as you might know, and if you don't, you're going to learn it tonight, improv often involves unscripted collaborative performance. Yes, and is a commonly known improv phrase that encourages people to accept and build on what others are saying or doing. Improv training shows potential for enhancing creative thinking and the ability to deal with uncertainty, including Chicken Chicago. I don't remember how it exactly went. It's been shown to improve empathy, flexibility, and listening skills among healthcare practitioners. And preliminary work also associates improv training among family care partners with positive outcomes.
Hey, what's up, Parenting Up family? Guess what? Have you ever wanted to connect with other caregivers? You want to see more behind the scenes footage? Want to know what me and Zeddy are doing? I know you do. All things J Smiles are finally ready for you. Even when I go live. Do it now with us on Patreon. Join us in the Patreon community. Catch everything we're doing. Visit patreon.com/J Smiles Studios with an S. Tonight we are attending an event, which I love the title, Improving, I don't want to mess it up, Improving Care Through Improv.
Yes.
Improving Care Through Improv.
Yes.
Do you agree with that? And how did you feel about the program?
I totally agree with that because we know if you're a family caregiver and your person is living with dementia, we know that it can be very challenging. And we haven't been taught and equipped with what to do and how to handle it. And the tools and just changing our thought pattern.
Yes.
that we can use these things
Yes.
and integrate these approaches is so eye-opening for people if they've never thought about it before.
That's right. As a stand-up comedian, I will say that I have routinely offered people, hey, if you're trying something, use yes and. I was so encouraged to hear that be a part of the program tonight.
Yes.
That's like commandment number 1, or actually commandment number 2, yes and,
Yes.
in improv. And do you feel that that would help you and the people that you engage
Well,
with?
I've watched it help people
Okay.
for a
Okay.
long time, and I've been a little part of this program.
Uh-huh.
I got to go through the class
Wonderful.
and provide feedback, and I watched it help people so much. It's
Yep.
excellent.
Y'all heard it here.
Yep.
Improv comedy helps caregivers. And it's somebody working with fancy people in the Science and Gerontology Institute. So you ain't got to believe me, a stand-up comedian. It's fancy science.
Well, and the person that they mentioned in there, Karen Stobbe,
Yes.
Stobbe, and her husband, Mundy Carter, they are amazing. And they are both improv folks who really, I think, started this whole focus on using improv for people living with dementia. They were actors and improv folks and then became family caregivers. And they've actually done a TED Talk on it.
Say yes and.
Agree, don't deny.
Accept offers and gifts.
Be specific.
Listen fully.
Accept the reality given to you.
Go with the flow.
Share focus. Give and take.
Silence can be powerful.
Commit 100%.
Be in the moment.
Those are some of the guidelines for performing improvisation.
Those also happen to be some of the guidelines for being with a person who is living with Alzheimer's.
My name is Mundy Carter. I have a degree in philosophy and theater, so I can really think about not working. I met my wife, Karen, while performing improv.
My name's Karen Stobbe. I love performing, but I'm lousy at memorization, so I took up improv 30 years ago. My dad, Manfred, passed away from Alzheimer's disease in October of 2000, and my mom, Virginia, has been living with Alzheimer's for the past 13 years. I realized in caregiving for both of my parents that the guidelines for improv and the guidelines for being with a person with Alzheimer's are parallel.
That's phenomenal.
So everybody needs to check out their TED Talk.
I agree.
Yeah.
Actors and activists. That is a lot of what being a family caregiver is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It
All
was
right.
a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Antonia Skipper. I am an assistant professor of gerontology at Georgia State University.
My mom getting Alzheimer's actually, I won't say it forced me, Dr. Skipper, because I chose to leave my life of engineering and law and design and all this stuff to become a caregiver. Then I became a comedian because of being a caregiver. So all of these things that you all are putting together scientifically for people to understand what humor does, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. After I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, somebody sees me and sees what I feel. And you all are scientists, so I think the way you say it is going to help me tell people, no, for real, right? This really works. I got people with coats and letters behind their names, yes. Who've done studies funded by NIH and the government and things. So how did y'all even decide to do this study? Like this is a really...
Yes, well, this
lasted a year.
It is, and this is all Dr. Kemp's baby.
Okay.
And I think she's had this idea for a very, very long time, and she just kind of took it and ran with it, and it's amazing to see kind of what it's grown into and what it's become. But I think so much of it has a part of the Gerontology Institute in it as well.
Right.
And so even if we don't study it directly, you'll see that Dr. Jennifer Kraft Morgan works on it with these projects, and kind of all of us.
Right.
And a lot of my work is with strong Black families. And so I consider how humor contributes to long-lasting relationships, how humor helps families to be together for 30, 40, 50 years, and marriages and things of that nature. And so I think it all kind of ties together, but the improv piece is just amazing. And I mean, it's wonderful what Dr. Kemp is doing with it.
You spoke of being involved in gerontology, and your choice,
Yes.
your expertise is in strong Black families, which I could go ahead and start doing a praise dance right here, but I won't do that right now. How did you decide that within gerontology, that's what you wanted to focus on? There's a lot going on with the elderly people.
Yes.
So that's a nice slice of our community. How did you get to
it is.
that?
I mean, I honestly it started in just family research. I got tired of the deficit narratives around Black families.
Right.
We hear a lot about divorce. We hear a lot about deficit. We hear a lot about deadbeat dads. We hear all of the negatives. And so I wanted to understand what keeps Black families together and strong for a long time, especially in marriages. And nobody's really doing that research and asking couples who have been married for 40, 50, 60 years, how'd you do it? And really understanding what gets at the crux of staying together, what gets at the crux of building a strong union, and even on the caregiving aspect, and understanding how these couples come together. And there's no individual. It's if you have a sickness, we're sick. And you don't have to get through it, we're gonna get through it. And so just understanding the Black family and how the Black family stays strong has just become my life work. It's amazing to do.
I love it. I saw that with my grandparents. They really were one unit as they aged, and parts of their body started to fail them. My grandfather couldn't see, but my grandmother had osteoporosis and was weak, and my grandfather he went blind from diabetes.
Yes.
And to watch them figure out how they were going to fold and wash the clothes,
Right.
who was going to sort, and who was going to take it to the washing
There you
machine
go.
and the dryer. And at first I was upset that my mama and her siblings hadn't gone over there to do it themselves.
Right.
I say, but you know what? Actually, they still have purpose.
Right.
And they're
Absolutely.
taking care of
Absolutely.
each other.
Absolutely.
And the number of people who have told me, hey, Jade Smiles, the reason why I'm still with this man, or the reason why I'm with this sister, she makes me laugh.
Yep. Humor is a big piece.
It's hard out there.
I have a piece that's been accepted with Marriage and Family Review, so it'll be published soon. But it's on understanding humor and the role of strengthening families across a life course. And so it really is considering, bringing across the improv and just comedy and all of that stuff. You think about Black folks, we've been taught since forever. You laugh through it, you smile through it, you laugh to keep from crying and all of that. And so
we don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice a lot of times when you don't have other resources.
Right.
That's always something you can look toward. That's always something you can lean on. So I think it just intersects so well with a lot of the work that we're doing in gerontology. So
I love it.
appreciate
And so I look forward to having you on the podcast, maybe having you in a skit, maybe having you at a comedy show.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe I come talk to you and your people and your team. I'm just saying,
Let's make it
you're
happen.
doing the heavy lifting, so I can just come in and tell some jokes.
That's the beauty of it, is because we publish and we do the research, but so often those messages don't get out to the community. So you're doing the work in the community
I
that
wanna tell
really, that's where it needs to be told, right? Because the people I'm writing for, they don't have subscriptions to these different journals and know about what's going on with my grants and things of that nature. So I need you to be the voice that can get my message out to the community.
Doc,
so
y'all
I
hear
appreciate
that?
it.
Doc
I
needs
appreciate
me.
it. We're going to make it happen.
A doctor of gerontology, which my grandfather would not even know how to spell,
Absolutely.
needs me. I
appreciate
appreciate it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Okay, we just attended this fancy program.
Yes.
Telling people how you can use improv to help caregivers dealing with people with dementia.
Yes.
How did you feel about the program?
My expectations, I didn't have any coming.
Okay.
But whatever, if I had, they would have exceeded it. I think it was a great opportunity to get a chance to see a different perspective on communication with dementia and older care. And I think it was awesome
Yes, I thought it was amazing as well. I've been working with long-term care and persons living with dementia for many years, and to see those best practices really put into such an interesting way that everyone can be a part and learn from it, and I think it would be successful with persons living with dementia, either at home or in a community. It was amazing. It was.
So both of you are in gerontology programs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. Did I say it right? Okay.
Gerontology, you got it.
Okay. How did you get into the study of old people?
Okay. Well, for me, I was introduced through a professor of
Just
mine, and my undergrad is in speech language pathology.
Okay.
So I was torn in between, did I want to work with older people or did I want to work with the youth? And so just after contemplating and weighing all my options, I figured that working with older adults was best for me. As a child, I always wanted to be a nurse. So even though I went a different route, I'm still kind of like in the medical healthcare field. My great-grandmother had a stroke when I was 10 years old. And so she was kind of like the pillar for me to want to be into the medical field. And so I was pouring her little nurse when I was 10 years old. And I was helping my grandmother give her medication, just sitting in her room, just talking to her, communicating with her. So I always had a thing for older adults. I think I understand them, they understand me. So that's how I was introduced with a little push from my professor. She's like, I think you know what you need to do.
That's
you
right.
want to work with
That's
older
right.
people. So that's what you should
You like
do.
old folks?
I like old folks. I'm old, you know? So I have an old soul. I don't want to be ageist, but I do believe that I have an old soul and I do have that connection with older adults.
That's beautiful. You've been doing this.
Yeah, I've been
You've
since
been
I was
doing
10.
this. So the name of the program is Improving Care Through Improv. Did you see anything or were you exposed to anything at tonight's program where you're like, you know what, that's hot. I think I'm going to try to do that, or I'm going to tell my clients you should try that technique because improv is way better than what I was doing before.
Definitely. I saw a lot of ways that I would really like to see this program or something like it with people that I work with.
Okay.
Because persons living with dementia, there are people who sometimes come to that field, at different levels, and they really don't have a lot of education regarding persons with dementia. But I feel like it was something useful that everyone at any level of their education can benefit from, whether you're a CEO, a doctor, a CNA. I think that there's something everyone can learn from here.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much. As a stand-up comedian, living with my mom when we were like in year 13 of her having Alzheimer's, it just warms my heart to know that there are professionals in science who are willing to lean into improv as a way to engage clients. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The Parenting Up podcast will be looking for you all too. All right, spread the word. Y'all know we keep it lit.
Thank you.
Okay, it's over. I attended the program. It was so fantastic. So Georgia State University, Dad's Garage, 5 or 6 other organizations came together to give us a program. It was half lecture and half watch what these improv people are doing. I love it. I mean, I'm a stand-up comedian. How could I not love that? On the real though, as a family caregiver, I felt seen. I felt so seen in a way that normally doesn't happen. There were researchers and scientists, people with PhDs in a multitude of areas who actually have spent years putting together tests and studies and programs to prove scientifically that yes, improv and improv techniques can actually make a caregiver's life better. And it can make the caree's life better. I've been saying that for like 10 years, but I don't have a PhD. And nobody believed me. But now I think when I tell them about this stuff, I'm like, yo, it's not just me. I ain't crazy. Y'all, this was so dope. I can't wait to share even more. I think I'm gonna put some of this in my stand-up. The snuggle ups. Number one, hey, caregivers, there are scientists out there right now, even in 2025, fighting for us to figure out ways to make things easier for us, talent and technique. Can you believe that? Even at a time when, let's just call a spade a spade. We don't know where money is coming from. We don't know where research dollars are going. We're under attack from our own federal government. But it's people out here, nonprofits and private institutions, who are like, get on our back. We gonna carry you through, FCGs. Number two, there are people going to school to major in how can we make life better for old people. Ain't that great? Gerontology is not what you hear people talking about anywhere. In the street, on the airplane, at the coffee shop. When have you met somebody say, you know what? I'm just trying to make sure I get my GMAT score up, get my SATs right, so I can go be a gerontologist. Like, first of all, what the hell is it? Does everybody even understand? It is the study of how you age. Really age. You got to be like over 65. You can't just be getting older. We met and saw so many people of different genders, of different ethnicities, who are right now, in this day and age, getting their undergraduate and masters in gerontology just to learn how we age and grow and live better. That is promising as hell. People want to say, we're going to hell in a handbasket. I say no. I say drink some water, take a nap, and wait for some of these young kids to fix this shit that we broke. Number three, listen. It's tough on us out here right now. How are you feeling? Especially if you are a woman. And double down if you are a woman of color. How are you doing? The world has a lot of anxiety, a lot of mistrust, and a lot of dissension in it, which has nothing to do with your loved one. The political stuff that's going on, fires breaking out and planes crashing. How are you doing? Please stop, take a beat, take a breath, whether it's a longer bath, or maybe you use your favorite lotion, extra. Go ahead, use it all up. Who gives a shit? Somebody will figure out how to buy you some more next week. The point is, there is so much stress that is happening in the world around us externally. You gotta find a way to release it. How are you doing? Check in with yourself. You matter the most. And if you didn't think so, Jay Smiles just told you, yeah, hell yeah, you matter the most. Yes, yes you do. I said you do. I said you do, damn it. You matter even more than your LO. Fight me.